what is exactly the territorial beef between Hezbollah and Israel? The Sheva farms? There is no territorial dispute between Hezbollah and Israel. So why start the war? And when you recognize, of course, that Hezbollah is just Syria, and Syria is just Iran, and Iran is about to go nuclear, you recognize that this is not a battle about this town or that town. It's not a battle about the Gaza Strip or the West Bank. It's not a battle about an alleged occupation. It is a battle about one thing and one thing only. It is a battle about the question of whether Israel has a right to exist. And when Israelis recognized that this was now not a battle about territory or about space or about land or about borders, but it was a battle about whether or not we have a right to exist, and Israelis recognized that since it's not about land, the only thing that we can do to put this battle to rest is either to destroy our enemies or to cease to exist. Israelis began to recognize that the likelihood is that they have served, that their children are serving, and as heartbreaking as it is to say, the likelihood is that their grandchildren are also going to serve. There was a song that Yehoram Gaon used to sing in the 70s and became extremely well known during the Yom Kippur War of 1973, the refrain of which was, Ani mavtiach lach yalda sheli ktana, shezot tiyeh hamilchama ha'achrona. I promise you, my little girl, this was the last war. But Israelis don't believe in a last war anymore. Israelis don't tell their children as they tuck them into bed at night that there's going to be peace tomorrow. And Israelis, when they tuck their children and grandchildren into bed, look at kids who they know deep in their hearts are likely to have to go to war. And so in the face of all of that, I'm commonly asked, is there any cause for hope? Is there any cause for optimism? With Iran and the stalemate with the Palestinians and Hezbollah entrenched and the IDF still powerful but not as perhaps absolutely in control as it used to be, is there any cause for optimism in all of this? How do you still believe? I would like in the space of the next few minutes to share with you a bit about why it is that as difficult as the summer was, and as heavy as some of the days which we still live in are, why each morning when I wake up in Jerusalem and each night when I go to sleep in Jerusalem, I believe deeply, not only in the possibility of a bright Israeli future, but in the certainty of a bright Israeli future.